In today's episode, we're looking at some of the worst great white shark attacks of all time, from a retired teacher's deadly anniversary dive to an accountant's fatal family vacation. But first, we start with a marine biologist, where a solo dive near a seal colony turned deadly. It was April 15, 2014, when the crystal clear water surrounding Neptune Islands off South Australia's coast became the scene of a devastating encounter. The remote archipelago, located 35 miles southwest of Port Lincoln, served as a critical breeding ground for Australian fur seals. Towering limestone cliffs rose from the ocean depths, creating underwater caverns and kelp forests that attracted diverse marine life. The island's isolation made them perfect for scientific research, drawing marine biologists from across the globe to study the complex ecosystem. Logan Price, a 34-year-old marine biologist, had established a temporary research station on the largest island 3 weeks prior. His doctoral thesis focused on seal population dynamics, requiring extensive underwater observations during the critical pupping season. Price possessed 12 years of diving experience and held advanced certifications in technical diving and underwater photography. His methodical approach to research had earned him respect among colleagues, though some questioned his tendency to push safety boundaries when pursuing rare specimens. The morning conditions appeared ideal, with calm seas and excellent visibility extending beyond 60 feet. Price made the fatal decision to conduct a solo spearfishing expedition near the main seal colony, directly violating established safety protocols. Weather services had issued warnings about increased shark activity during pupping season, when blood and afterbirth in the water attracted predators. His research permit specifically prohibited solo diving operations, yet Price believed his experience justified the risk. He entered the water at dawn, carrying his custom spear gun and wearing a black wetsuit that would prove catastrophically similar to a seal's silhouette. Great white sharks represent the ocean's most formidable predators, reaching lengths exceeding 20 feet and weights of over 5,000 pounds. These apex hunters possess extraordinary sensory capabilities, detecting electrical fields generated by living creatures and sensing blood concentrations as low as 1 part per billion. Their triangular serrated teeth can exert bite forces exceeding 4,000 pounds per square inch, easily crushing bone and severing limbs. Great whites typically hunt from below, using their powerful tails to propel themselves upward at speeds reaching 25 miles per hour during attacks. At approximately 40 feet depth, Price focused intently on a large snapper near the rocky bottom, unaware of the 18-foot great white ascending silently from the deeper waters below. The massive predator, likely attracted by the seal colony's activity and Price's movements, struck with devastating precision. The initial impact crushed Price's ribcage, the shark's conical snout delivering tremendous blunt force trauma before its jaws clamped down on his torso. Both lungs were punctured instantly as broken ribs pierced the delicate tissue, filling his chest cavity with blood. The shark's powerful jaws, lined with razor-sharp teeth, penetrated deep into Price's abdomen and chest. As the predator shook him violently from side to side, massive internal trauma occurred. Price's spear gun tumbled toward the ocean floor as his body went limp from shock and blood loss. The great white released its grip momentarily before attacking again, this time targeting his left shoulder. The second bite completely severed Price's left arm, the shark's teeth slicing through bone, muscle, and major arteries with surgical precision. Blood poured from the catastrophic wounds, creating a crimson cloud in the clear water. The massive blood loss caused Price's blood pressure to plummet rapidly, leading to hypovolemic shock. The shark delivered a final fatal bite to his lower abdomen, its teeth penetrating vital organs including the liver and intestines. The damage to major blood vessels caused immediate and irreversible hemorrhaging. Price's body sank slowly toward the rocky bottom as the great white disappeared into the depths, leaving behind only scattered equipment and a spreading pool of blood. Coast Guard divers recovered Price's remains 3 hours later after his research vessel's automated distress beacon activated when he failed to surface. The recovery operation required extreme caution due to the continued shark present in the area. Marine authorities launched an immediate investigation into the circumstances surrounding the attack, focusing on protocol violations and safety procedures at remote research sites. Price's death sent shockwaves through the marine biology community, prompting universities worldwide to review solo diving policies. The Neptune Islands incident became a sobering reminder of the ocean's inherent dangers, even for experienced professionals. Logan Price's story showed how quickly apex predators strike when safety is ignored. For Tessa Rowe, it wasn't research but a dream anniversary dive that would lead her into the path of one of the ocean's most aggressive hunters. It was September 8, 2015, when the crystal-clear waters off Isle Wall Shoal off the coast of South Africa promised the perfect setting for celebration. The renowned diving destination, located 4 miles offshore from Umkomaas, stretched across a fossilized sand dune system teeming with marine life. Coral formations jutted from the sandy bottom at depths ranging from 60 to 90 feet, creating an underwater paradise that attracted divers from around the world. The warm Indian Ocean currents typically provide excellent visibility, making it an ideal location for both novice and experienced divers. Schools of tropical fish darted between the coral heads, while rays glided gracefully over the sandy patches. Tessa Rowe, a 52-year-old retired teacher from Manchester, had chosen this exotic location to celebrate her 25th wedding anniversary with her husband David, a 54-year-old certified dive instructor. Despite having only 20 log dives in her logbook, Tessa was determined to overcome her lingering fear of deep water and share this underwater adventure with the man she loved. David had carefully selected Isle Wall Shoal for its reputation as a relatively safe diving environment, hoping to build his wife's confidence beneath the waves. The couple had planned this trip for months, with Tessa dedicating countless hours to pool training and equipment familiarization. Their dive operator had assured them of calm conditions and excellent marine life sightings. The morning briefing had emphasized staying close to the group and maintaining proper buoyancy control. Bull sharks are among the ocean's most formidable predators, capable of reaching lengths up to 11 feet and weighing over 500 pounds. These powerful hunters possess one of the strongest bite forces in the animal kingdom, with jaws capable of exerting pressure exceeding 1,300 pounds per square inch. Unlike many shark species that prefer deeper waters, bull sharks frequently patrol shallow coastal areas and are known for their aggressive territorial behavior. Their stocky build and broad, flat snouts make them perfectly adapted for hunting in murky waters where visibility is limited. These apex predators are particularly dangerous due to their unpredictable nature and tendency to investigate unusual disturbances in their territory. The morning dive began routinely as the group descended toward the reef system. However, unexpected strong currents began stirring up sediment from the ocean floor, rapidly reducing visibility from the usual 100 feet to less than 10 feet. The murky conditions created an underwater maze where familiar landmarks disappeared into the gloom. Tessa, already anxious about the depth, became increasingly disoriented as the group moved along the reef wall. When she lost sight of David's distinctive yellow fins, panic set in immediately. Violating fundamental diving safety protocols, Tessa broke away from the group and began ascending rapidly toward the surface. Her erratic movements and rapid ascent created vibrations that traveled through the water column. The 9-foot bull shark, patrolling the outer edges of the reef system, detected these irregular disturbances and moved to investigate. Tessa's panicked fin kicks and arm movements mimicked the struggling motions of an injured animal, triggering the predator's hunting instincts. The shark approached from Tessa's left side, striking with devastating precision. Its massive jaws clamped down on her left thigh with crushing force, the razor-sharp teeth penetrating deep into muscle and bone. The impact severed her femoral artery instantly, sending streams of blood into the surrounding water. The force of the attack knocked Tessa's regulator from her mouth, cutting off her air supply as she struggled against the predator's grip. The bull shark's powerful head movement shook Tessa violently from side to side, causing massive tissue damage throughout her leg. As blood continued to pour from the wound, the shark released its initial grip only to strike again, this time targeting her torso. The second bite punctured her buoyancy control device, causing rapid air loss and immediate negative buoyancy. Tessa began sinking toward the ocean floor as water flooded her damaged equipment. The combination of massive blood loss from the severed artery and drowning as seawater filled her lungs proved fatal within minutes. Her body descended through the murky water column, coming to rest on a sandy bottom at 80 feet depth. The bull shark, having inflicted mortal wounds, disappeared back into the gloom of the reef system. David and the dive group conducted an immediate search when they realized Tessa was missing. Her body was located 45 minutes later by the dive master, who followed a trail of blood and equipment debris to the ocean floor. Emergency ascent procedures were initiated, but resuscitation attempts proved unsuccessful. The South African Maritime Authorities launched a comprehensive investigation into the incident, examining equipment, dive procedures, and environmental conditions. Tessa's family released a statement expressing their grief while acknowledging her determination to conquer her fears. The local diving community implemented additional safety protocols for novice divers in challenging conditions. Tessa Rowe's story was a tragic reminder of how quickly panic can turn deadly underwater. For marine researcher Micah Reeves, it wasn't inexperience that would threaten him, but something far more dangerous lurking beneath the surface. It was June 22, 2016, when the research vessel Deep Current anchored in the crystal clear water surrounding Guadalupe Island, Mexico. The remote volcanic island rose dramatically from the Pacific Ocean, its rugged cliffs casting long shadows across the surface as morning light filtered through the marine layer. These waters, known for their exceptional visibility and abundant seal populations, had become a premier destination for great white shark research. The island's isolation, located 150 miles off the Baja California coast, created perfect conditions for studying these apex predators in their natural habitat. Strong currents carried nutrient-rich waters around the island's perimeter, supporting a thriving ecosystem. Micah Reeves, a 41-year-old marine researcher with 15 years of field experience, had brought his team to these waters for a critical tagging expedition. His reputation for advanced shark conservation research was built on calculated risks and innovative approaches that other scientists deemed too dangerous. Leading 3 graduate students, Micah specialized in shark behavior patterns and had developed new satellite tagging techniques that provided unprecedented data on great white migration routes. The team had been tracking a particularly large female specimen for 3 days, waiting for the optimal moment to attach their tracking device. His colleagues often described him as brilliant, but sometimes reckless. Great white sharks are the ocean's most formidable predators, capable of reaching lengths exceeding 20 feet and weights of over 5,000 pounds. Their torpedo-shaped bodies are perfectly designed for explosive bursts of speed, reaching up to 35 miles per hour when attacking prey. These ancient hunters possess rows of razor-sharp triangular teeth that can exert bite forces exceeding 4,000 pounds per square inch. Their keen senses allow them to detect electrical fields from living creatures and smell blood from miles away. Female great whites are typically larger and more aggressive than males, especially when establishing territorial dominance in feeding areas. Their hunting strategy relies on ambush attacks from below, using their powerful tails to propel themselves toward prey. The massive female they have been observing measured an estimated 16 feet in length, displaying increasingly territorial behavior as the morning progressed. She had been circling the research vessel aggressively for over an hour, her dorsal fin cutting through the surface with deliberate precision. The shark's behavior patterns indicated heightened aggression, likely triggered by the scent of bait fish the team had been using to attract her closer to their observation platform. Her movements became more erratic and unpredictable as feeding time approached, a clear warning sign that experienced researchers typically heeded. Despite warnings from his graduate students about the shark's unusual territorial displays, Micah made the fatal decision to enter the water without proper cage protection. He believed his experience in the shark's predictable circling pattern would allow him sufficient time to attach the satellite tag using their extended tagging pole. As he slipped into the water with his equipment, the massive predator immediately altered her behavior, turning toward him with unmistakable intent. The great white charged directly at Micah with explosive speed, her powerful tail propelling her massive frame through the water. The initial attack targeted his right arm as he attempted to position the tagging pole. The shark's triangular teeth, each measuring over 2 inches in length, severed his arm completely at the elbow joint. The tagging equipment sank rapidly as blood poured into the surrounding water, creating a crimson cloud that triggered the predator's feeding response. Micah's severed limb floated momentarily before disappearing into the depths as massive blood loss began affecting his consciousness. The great white attacked again within seconds, this time clamping her powerful jaws around his torso. The crushing force of her bite punctured his chest cavity, her teeth penetrating deep into his ribcage and damaging multiple vital organs, including his lungs and heart. The predator began thrashing violently, her natural feeding behavior taking control as she dragged Micah underwater. Each powerful movement of her head caused additional trauma to his already devastated torso. The combination of massive blood loss from his severed arm, catastrophic organ damage from the chest wounds, and water entering his punctured lungs created a fatal cascade of injuries. Within 4 minutes of the first bite, Micah Reeves succumbed to his injuries in the depths surrounding Guadalupe Island. The Mexican authorities launched an immediate investigation into the incident, focusing on safety protocols for marine research operations. The research community mourned the loss of a dedicated scientist whose work had significantly advanced understanding of great white behavior patterns. Micah Reeves' story reminded us how quickly apex predators turn deadly when safety fails. For Blair Kingston, it wasn't research but competitive fishing that would lead him to one fatal decision. It was August 14, 2017, off the pristine coast of Maui, Hawaii, where the annual Pacific Deep Sea Fishing Tournament drew competitors from around the globe. The crystal clear water stretched endlessly under the blazing afternoon sun, with gentle swells rolling beneath the scattered fleet of charter boats positioned strategically along the continental shelf. 28-year-old Blair Kingston stood on the deck of his team's vessel, the Salt Runner, his weathered hands gripping the rail as he surveyed the competition spread across the horizon. A commercial fisherman by trade, Kingston had built his reputation on aggressive tactics and calculated risks that often paid off in prize-winning catches. His 3-man crew had traveled from California specifically for this tournament, their boat loaded with high-end equipment and years of collective experience targeting the largest pelagic species. The waters around Maui are known for their abundant marine life, including massive yellowfin tuna that could weigh over 200 pounds, making them the ultimate prize for serious competitors willing to venture into deeper, more dangerous waters where trophy fish congregated. Kingston's team had already landed several smaller catches, but they needed something spectacular to claim the tournament's grand prize and the accompanying $50,000 purse that would validate their risky journey. Tiger sharks are among the ocean's most formidable predators, reaching lengths of up to 18 feet and weighing over 1,400 pounds. These apex hunters possess rows of razor-sharp serrated teeth designed to slice through flesh and bone with devastating efficiency. Their powerful jaws can exert crushing force exceeding 6,000 pounds per square inch, while their keen senses allow them to detect blood in the water from miles away. Tiger sharks are particularly dangerous in Hawaiian waters, where they patrol the deeper channels between islands hunting for wounded or distressed prey. Their distinctive striped pattern gives them their name. though these markings fade with age as the sharks mature into even more dangerous predators. These sharks are known for their indiscriminate feeding habits, consuming everything from sea turtles to marine mammals with equal ferocity. When Kingston's team successfully hooked a massive yellowfin tuna, the fish fought violently against the line, thrashing and bleeding as it was pulled toward the surface. The 200-pound tuna broke free just as it reached the boat, its wounded body trailing blood as it began to sink back into the depths. Without hesitation, Kingston stripped off his shirt and dove into the warm Hawaiian waters, determined to retrieve the valuable catch that could secure their tournament victory. What he failed to notice was the 14-foot tiger shark that had been following the bleeding fish's scent trail for several minutes, drawn by the unmistakable smell of distress and injury. As Kingston swam downward toward the sinking tuna, the shark approached from below, its massive form cutting silently through the blue water. Kingston grabbed the fish with both hands, struggling to lift its dead weight toward the surface when the tiger shark struck with explosive force. The initial attack caught Kingston's right leg just below the knee, the shark's serrated teeth slicing completely through bone and muscle in a single devastating bite. The severed limb separated instantly, sending clouds of blood billowing through the water as major arteries were severed. Kingston released the tuna and attempted to swim toward his boat, but the massive blood loss and shock had already begun to weaken him significantly. The tiger shark, now in full predatory mode, circled back for a second attack, its primitive brain driven by the overwhelming scent of blood. The second strike caught Kingston across his lower back and abdomen, the shark's powerful jaws crushing his spine and rupturing internal organs. The crushing force of the bite caused catastrophic internal bleeding while the serrated teeth tore through vital structures. Kingston's body went limp as his spinal cord was severed, and within 2 minutes, massive blood loss caused him to lose consciousness and drown in the crimson-stained waters. The Coast Guard recovered Kingston's body 3 hours later, launching an immediate investigation into the tournament's safety protocols and water entry procedures. His family released a brief statement requesting privacy during their grief, while tournament officials implemented new safety measures requiring protective equipment for water entry. The incident marked the first shark fatality in the tournament's 15-year history, sending shockwaves through the competitive fishing community and raising questions about risk management in extreme sport fishing competitions. Local authorities temporarily suspended similar tournaments pending comprehensive safety reviews and protocol updates. The Hawaiian Department of Land and Natural Resources issued new guidelines for all future fishing competitions in state waters. Meanwhile, Kingston's story showed how quickly sharks strike when blood hits the water. For Noah Vexler, it wasn't competition that drew him to dangerous waters, but a family vacation off the coast of Mexico. It was July 3, 2018, 15 miles offshore from Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, where the Pacific Ocean stretched endlessly in all directions under the blazing afternoon sun. The charter boat Sea Dreams bobbed gently in the deep blue waters, surrounded by nothing but ocean as far as the eye could see. The water here plunged to depths exceeding 3,000 feet, creating the perfect hunting grounds for pelagic predators that rarely venture close to shore. The sea conditions were ideal, with minimal wind and crystal clear visibility extending over 100 feet into the azure depths below. Noah Vexler, a 45-year-old accountant from Phoenix, had brought his family on this deep-sea fishing charter as part of their summer vacation. His wife Carmen and their 2 teenagers aged 16 and 14 had been looking forward to this trip for months. Noah was known for his cautious nature, meticulously planning every detail of their family adventures, but he harbored a secret fear of open ocean swimming that he desperately wanted to overcome. Despite being a strong pool swimmer who could easily complete 50 laps at his local gym, he had never ventured into open ocean waters. The charter captain had recommended this particular spot for its abundant marine life, warning passengers that the deep waters attracted large predators following the boat's fish scraps. The morning's fishing had been exceptionally successful, with multiple yellowfin tuna and mahi-mahi caught, their blood and remains creating an irresistible scent trail in the water. The oceanic white-tip shark is one of the ocean's most formidable predators, reaching lengths of up to 13 feet and weighing over 400 pounds. These sharks are distinguished by their rounded, white-tipped fins and bold, persistent hunting behavior in open ocean environments. Unlike coastal sharks that typically avoid human contact, oceanic whitetips are known for their curious and aggressive nature around boats, often following vessels for hours while scavenging for food scraps. Their powerful jaws contain rows of triangular serrated teeth designed for gripping and tearing flesh, while their muscular bodies allow them to maintain a relentless pursuit of prey in deep water. These apex predators are responsible for more open ocean attacks on humans than any other shark species, earning them a fearsome reputation among marine biologists. When the charter boat stopped for lunch, Noah made the fatal decision to prove his swimming abilities by jumping into the crystal clear waters. Despite Captain Rodriguez's explicit warnings about swimming in such deep, predator-rich waters, Noah convinced himself that a quick swim would help him conquer his fears. The 11-foot oceanic whitetip had been shadowing the boat for over an hour, drawn by the steady stream of fish blood and scraps being thrown overboard during the morning's fishing activities. The massive predator had been circling at a depth of approximately 30 feet, its distinctive silhouette barely visible from the surface. As Noah swam approximately 50 yards from the vessel, the massive shark approached from the depths below, its distinctive white-tipped fins cutting through the water with deadly precision. The initial attack came without warning as the oceanic whitetip's powerful jaws clamped down on Noah's left shoulder and arm. The shark's rounded teeth penetrated deep into muscle and bone, causing immediate fractures to his humerus and severe lacerations to his deltoid and bicep muscles. Noah's screams echoed across the water as blood began streaming from the wounds, creating a crimson cloud that only intensified the predator's feeding response. The thrashing in blood triggered the shark's relentless hunting instincts, characteristic of this species' persistent attack pattern. The oceanic whitetip struck again, this time targeting Noah's torso with devastating force. Its jaws penetrated his chest cavity, crushing ribs and puncturing vital organs, including his left lung and liver. The shark's powerful bite force exceeding 1,000 pounds per square inch caused catastrophic internal damage as it shook its massive head from side to side. Noah's desperate attempts to fight back only encouraged the predator's continued assault, as oceanic whitetips are known for their bold, unyielding behavior once they begin feeding. The shark delivered multiple successive attacks over the next several minutes, each bite causing additional trauma to Noah's already devastated body. Blood loss became massive as major arteries were severed, while the punctured lung caused rapid respiratory failure. The combination of severe hemorrhaging, organ damage, and shock proved fatal within 7 minutes of the initial attack, as Noah's body went limp in the crimson-stained waters. The Mexican Coast Guard launched an immediate investigation into the incident, while local authorities temporarily suspended deep-sea fishing charters in the area. Noah's family was devastated by the tragedy, with his wife Carmen later establishing a foundation promoting ocean safety awareness. The incident marked the third shark fatality in Mexican waters that year, prompting renewed discussions about swimming protocols during charter boat excursions. If these stories left you wanting more terrifying encounters, click the next video to see what happens when nature's deadliest predators meet their match.